What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching The Road to Beast Wars. This is just a web series where we're talking about the production of Transformers Rise of the Beasts. This is episode number 10, and in this episode, we're going to do another recap of pretty much the last 2 weeks or so, talking about the production, all the things that have been going on, and I don't really have any new news per se, but it's still interesting to talk about, so let's get on with this episode. Before we begin, I want to give a big shout out to Transformers Cars for this post back in 2018, January 6th of 2018, and this was with regards to episode number 8, where I was talking about how we all come from different generations of Transformers. Some might be into G1, some might be into Beast Wars, some might have started off with the Michael Bay films. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all Transformers fans and we should all respect each other. So I really appreciate this post right here. Please respect that not all Transformers fans come from the same generation. But at the end of the day, we all love Optimus Prime. We all love Bumblebee, the Autobots, the Decepticons, and the stories, and all the various elements that make it so great. So they're different generations, but let's just all respect each other. I think this is a movie that's actually going to bring a number of groups together, because we have the G1 fans, we have the Bay fans, as well as the Beast Wars fans, and they're going to take a little bit, or some of the best parts from every version, every iteration, and group it all into one film. We'll see how that goes, but anyways, the key words are mutual respect. Okay, so I appreciate that. Next, I just want to address some things from a previous episode. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. So let's just go through them all. Let's just go through some of these comments just so that I can correct myself. And I appreciate the fans for correcting me. So Meep Meep says Jazz is not a Porsche 911, but a Martini Porsche 935 race car. So let's get it right. It's a Porsche 935 Martini race car. Okay, that's what Porsche originally was back in G1. All right. As for the two Optimus Prime trucks that I talked about in my previous episode, which was a comparison between the Bumblebee version and also the Rise of the Beast version that's being filmed right now, Mr. Krabs says the two are entirely different. The one on the left had a much longer rear end, although it was still blue. That and the Bumblebee one was sold earlier this year. So the Bumblebee one actually got purchased by a hardcore Transformers collector. Like, that takes collecting to a whole nother level when you're buying the actual cars from the film. All right, so that's really, imagine having that in your garage. That's pretty crazy, or parked out in your front yard. That's something awesome to wake up to every morning, okay, or drive around. In any case, so the truck being used right now is an entirely new truck. Now, this was regarding the actual photo. Now, when I used the photo of Optimus Prime, I actually didn't know that it was a Photoshop version of the original, which had a guy standing in front of it. So this is the original one, which had a fan standing in front of it, and this is the Photoshopped version. I didn't even notice it. It was a very good job, and this was done by Aleximus Magnus. The picture is still real, only slightly edited. The original pic showed a person standing in front of the truck blocking the door and the wheel, so I photoshopped him out of it and inserted a fake wheel on there. That's really good. I was reading the comments and they were saying like, hey, it looks photoshopped. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? It looks amazing. Like, whoever, in any case, we found out that it's photoshopped, and I think Aleximus Magnus is actually very, very talented at photoshopping. But still, some people were able to point it out, but it looks great. Okay, it looks fantastic. This is from Jason Wade. This is he's a truck enthusiast or a trucker, or I think he mentioned his dad is in the trucking industry. In any case, Jason provided some insight, or rather feedback, about the some of the parts that I was commenting on. Those metal pieces on the new version are just wind deflectors. Nothing too important, just helps with wind resistance. Like I said, this truck has been heavily modified for the film. Most of the new bits and pieces of Rise of the Beast version you wouldn't even need. The deflectors and shortened frame is a prime example, pun intended. So as you can see, as you can tell from a comment like this, it really tells you that not only is it heavily modified, but they're doing this mostly for the film and cosmetic reasons, mostly to make it look quite different, like different enough to make it look like like it has some upgrades, but still retaining the essence of the first version, and by that I mean the Bumblebee version. So it's really just for cosmetic reasons. They just want to add a few things here and there once again to sell more toys. And finally, this was a comment on my commentary, and I just had to bring this up because I thought this comment is absolutely hilarious, okay? This is from Code Red 713. I'm sorry, but I think all this is unnecessary nitpicking. I just hope Optimus doesn't look like cutlery when he transforms. And when I read that, that legit made me laugh out loud because I just pictured, you know, when you okay, when I wash dishes by hand. I don't use a dishwasher, but like I wash all my bowls and plates first, and then I go to my cutlery. And when I'm washing my cutlery, it's like a lot of ding 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 clink 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 clink, and that's all I was thinking about. It's like, okay, Autobots transform and roll out, and Optimus Prime suddenly turns into cutlery. He goes ding 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 ding, you know. I just pictured that. I visualized that, and it cracked me up. Okay, moving on. I'd like to bring to your attention this Transformers a fan account on Instagram, and this is Transformers.universe 2.0. Now, actually, this is his backup account. There's another Transformers account. I mean, another account of his, which is the main account, which is Transformers.universe. But on his backup account 2.0, it actually has some really amazing CG renderings or fan edits. Or productions, fan renders of the characters. Now, this is his interpretations of the characters that are in Transformers Last Night, and they look amazing. Like, really look amazing. Okay, so you can see in this group of photos at the bottom, that's his version of Nightbird. There's RC over there, Mirage, and then what really popped out, what really wowed me, which I almost thought was official, is the Optimus Prime. And what really made me think that is because, or feel that way, is because it has all the differences, or all the different additions, if you will, to Optimus Prime as a truck, but translated into robot form, such as the sun visor, the silver stripe on his shoulder, the grill guard, and just you can tell this is an updated version. It looks more, it looks busier compared to the Bumblebee version as a robot. The Bumblebee version is already very busy. In fact, all the Bay designs are very, very busy. But this one, you know, has even more to it, especially those parts that I talked about, which are like glaringly obvious in the truck mode: the sun visor, the stripes, and the grill guard. I do think the grill guard feels a little bit like, it feels like there should be more to it, but the grill guard looks like, I mean, the rest of the grill guard looks like it might have been in another part of the truck, but but what I see right now, it looks fantastic. So I'm very impressed by this. So great job. Moving on, I'm going to bring you to the attention of an interview from producer Lorenzo de Bonaventura. This is while doing press and promo for Snake Eyes, Rise of Cobra. No, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. Why did I say that? And of course, as he's getting questions about Snake Eyes, he's obviously going to get some questions about Transformers Rise of the Beast. So I just wanted to pinpoint that particular question and his response. You recently announced Transformers Rise of the Beast. How will that... Okay, I guess this is an older interview I brought out now. You recently announced Transformers Rise of the Beast. How would that continue the thinking from Bumblebee, or perhaps rethink the franchise? I'll say this. The first Transformers movie and Bumblebee movie both got into that sense of wonder and that first connection between man and machine. Since we're hoping to replicate in many ways what we did in Transformers 1, which was tell a very emotion-driven story with big wild experience, Bumblebee reminds us of our roots in a sense. So I totally agree with that. Transformers 1, the very first film, and Bumblebee brought us that sense of wonder. It has a sense of this magic that really brings us, that gives us a nostalgic feeling and really makes us, like the kid in us, and the kid in every single one of us go like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just seeing something so magical. The second, third, fourth, and fifth film, not so much. It was just more about spectacle. It just had a very different feeling. It was entertaining in a sense, but it didn't create the same feeling as Bumblebee and the first Transformers film. And that had a whole lot to do with, first of all, Bumblebee was very nostalgic, but the first one was just that we had no expectations, no idea what to expect in terms of seeing live-action transforming robots for the very first time on the big screen. So we had no expectations about that. So when we see them, we're like, wow. But now that we've seen them, the sequels, we don't feel that sense of wonder anymore. So what Lorenzo de Bonaventura is trying to say is that they want to create that human connection again with man and machine. I guess we're getting that because it is really only the first film and Bumblebee and this one will be the films where they are discovering Transformers for the very first time. Now, as for Age of Extinction, you could say that, yes, Cade Yeager is discovering a Transformers for the first time, but he already knows of them. He already knows that, hey, you're an Autobot. I think we discovered a Transformers. You're Optimus Prime, right? So that sense of wonder is not quite there. And the scene where he discovers him is not as magical or nostalgic when you really think about it, when comparing it to Bumblebee or Transformers. So I'm really thinking that in in Transformers Rise of the Beast, I'm really hoping that and thinking that when Anthony Ramos' character Noah discovers whoever it may be, Optimus Prime, Mirage, or hopefully not Bumblebee, because we've obviously seen that, either Optimus Prime or Mirage for the first time, I'm hoping it's going to be something very magical, something that'll once again create that feeling that we've had before from Autobot Arrival and when Charlie meets Bumblebee for the very first time. That was a very magical moment for me. Even when I saw that trailer when he transformed, it just like, wow, brought tears to my eyes. It was so special. Okay. So there you have it. Next, what we're going to do is the actual recap. So 11 minutes into this video, now we're doing this recap. I want to bring to your attention to this really wonderful Transformers fan account on Twitter called TransformersFR.com. And the FR is actually French or France. What it is pretty much the, I don't want to say official, but it's the go-to Transformers French or Quebec or France fan page, okay? And this is their Twitter. It's at Transformers FR, okay? Follow them. This is where I got pretty much all this, all of what I'm about to talk about. So this was posted by them. Now this is for the last 2 to 3 weeks of filming, okay? So this took place, this gala event, which is filmed in the evening, took place at, you know what, let me just pull that up. That took place at the Au Parc Square Dorchester of Montreal, Quebec. Okay, that's where these scenes took place. And I believe this is supposed to be some kind of like gala event at a building on Park Avenue of New York, okay? And so it looks like a really big event. Something's going on. And it looks like some very important people are going to be there. Who really knows? Next, I want to bring to your attention to, this is really cool. Okay, this is from Art Department. These are things that are covered up that are going to be shown during filming, and I'm pretty positive it's, of course, the what is it? The newsstands of of New York City. Okay, you got a newsstand, you got this subway, like the stairs that go down to the subway. And what's hilarious is that it really is just a it's a prop stairs. Like, it doesn't actually lead anywhere. It's just the railing, which is really hilarious as a prop. But when you see it on film, when you see it on the big screen, you're not going to notice that. You're going to think that's a real stairs down. Most likely, no, it's not going to be filmed while someone's actually going down, because it actually doesn't go anywhere. That would be hilarious. But anyways, very good job on the art department for really recreating New York City. All right, I guess that's Manhattan or somewhere. I don't really know the geography of New York. These were posted by Mean Green 9000. Oh, here's a New York City police car. And this is a lot. This is a lot for keeping not Autobots, but actually 90s vehicles. So as you already know, there was a casting call for extras who had vehicles that are from the 90s, and they wanted people to bring their vehicles over so that they can have their vehicle part of the next big Hollywood production, which happens to be Transformers: Rise of the Beast. This is a lot that are where they're keeping them, and it's pretty cool because it's kind of like a time machine. They're transporting you back in time, and like you don't see too many of these on the road right now. And when you do see them, because I do see them once in a while I'm driving, you really think about it. I mean, it really stands out. It really, really stands out. Like, that's an old car. I can't believe it's still around. So it's very, very funny. Here is once again art department. They are putting up posters on walls of that represent the 90s. We're not even going to notice them really when we see the filming, but it's always these little details that we don't really notice. They're there, okay? They're there, but this is the things that they have to do to really make the film feel authentic, okay? All right, what do we have here? Okay, here are some posts from Twitter user Why I'm Zach, and this is from, let me take a look at this location. What is this location called? This is called the Parc Jean Drapeau, okay? And I'm not sure what's going on here, but it looks like they build this set. Yeah, this is, the park is actually just plain fields, just flat grassy fields, but then they built this set, and they put a blue screen on top of it because they're only building the lower portion, and the rest of it, which is going to be this, I guess, either a building from New York or a completely fictional building, that's going to be created in CG. Okay, so we're not sure what's going to be, but it's possible it's going to be like a very significant enough building that they have to make a CG thing out of it, or it could be insignificant and completely and just be something in the background. Who knows? And finally, this is from JRK Media. This is a homeless encampment, which was not there originally. This was actually put together from like as part of the set design under a bridge. So that's that. So, obviously there's a lot of work being put into these scenes. This was just in the last 2 or 3 weeks of filming. I can't remember how long they've really been filming for, but I'm pretty sure it's been a month with a combination of on location and in closed sets filming. So that's all that's been going on right now. I think a huge reason why we haven't been seeing a lot of filming is because you gotta remember that, first of all, this not being a Michael Bay film means that there are not going to be as many flashy cars and flashy moments. And what I mean by that is that, Michael Bay's the king of explosions, okay? Lots of spectacular action scenes. When you have a Michael Bay action sequence, expect a lot of gunfire, expect a lot of military, expect a lot of explosions, and expect a lot of fast cars, okay? So right now we haven't even gotten a taste of that. All we've gotten is Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, stationary. We haven't really seen them being filmed rolling out, but we have seen a practice run of almost said jazz, of Mirage doing some drifting and some high-speed chase rolling out. We haven't seen that. Potentially, those scenes have already been filmed and it's a closed set. Like, you just cannot access that area unless you're an extra, okay? And of course, they have obviously a very strict policy about phones and filming. So that's probably why we haven't seen any filming. And as films progress, like a lot of these Hollywood productions, they're very, very secretive. They're very tight-lipped about this stuff, and security is pretty high. So there probably isn't going to be as much filming. Now, on the other hand, when they're filming in a much more open space, of course, there's a chance that someone will film something. Now, the reason why we probably still haven't seen much filming like on the level of Michael Bay is because when you really think about it, what kind of cars are really out there? They're not like freaking Bugattis, they're not Ferraris or Lamborghinis or any of the really flashy cars that Michael Bay has used in his films. As a matter of fact, he even put cars that are really, really flashy that don't actually end up being used in the film at all. Okay, so this is not the same type of film like Michael Bay, on the Michael Bay level of production per se, where you see tons of flashy cars and we're going to see Autobots everywhere and vehicles that are actually that we think are going to be Transformers. Not like that at all. Sure, we got a $200 million budget, but a lot of that's going to be spent on CG. I really believe that. They're going to do as much practical work as they can, but a lot of it's going to be spent on CG, because you got to remember that a huge chunk of the antagonist element will be CG. Terracons, Predacons, and then of course you have the Maximals that don't even transform into vehicles. So that's why we won't see as many vehicles. At the most part, we're going to see the Autobots, which we don't even know how many there are. Is it going to be 4 or 5 of them? Predacons, 100% CG. Maximals, 100% CG. And Terracons, I'm still banking on the possibility that there'll be triple changers, so they could be cars. Okay, as a matter of fact, it's been mentioned Nightbird's going to be a Skyline. Okay, so actually Nissan GTR, but in that era, it's a Skyline. So what do we have that's really cars right now? Okay, so Optimus Prime, Mirage, Bumblebee, and Jazz, and then this Nightbird and Scourge. Okay, now Scourge, I believe, is going to be a vehicle that we're actually going to physically see, because they did in the description, posted a month ago, it did mention that he's got smokestacks in him, which makes me believe that he's going to be some kind of aggressive-looking Mad Max-style truck. Okay, so that's 6 vehicles right now. We're eventually going to see them all. Okay, but deep down inside, I think that at the end of it all, there's really going to be a total of 8 vehicles. 8 vehicles, Terracons and Autobots combined. Okay, that's what I think. I think 8 is a number that is a very reasonable number. It could be more. I don't think it's going to be less. I think it could be more. So that pretty much gives us 5 Autobots and 3 Terracons. Okay, so that's what I think is going to happen. The rest of them will be CG characters. So there you have it. That's all I got to say in this episode. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy it. We will have more episodes coming about as filming progresses. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.